Hello, my name is Mark Kensington, and I'm a lab assistant here at the Coachella Valley Mosquito and Vector Control District. And I want to explain some of the different traps we use to trap adult mosquitoes. So, the first one I'll talk about will be the CO2 trap. CO2 is carbon dioxide, so this is a carbon dioxide trap. And I will explain the mosquitoes that we attempt to catch with this and also how it works. And then later I will show you where we would place it in the field. So the different components of this trap, we have the actual trap that holds the mosquitoes. It's basically a cage with a net. This keeps the mosquitoes from escaping. We use a fan and we use a rechargeable battery. And all of these work together. Let me attach it for you. It looks like this. We take the cage. We use a rubber band to help secure it to the fan. Put it nice and snug so the mosquitoes cannot escape. And then in here, this is our actual container that holds the dry ice. So the dry ice is the attractant, which is frozen carbon dioxide. What it does, it mimics either a person, animal, or bird. When we exhale carbon dioxide, and this is a known attractant. So as the mosquito senses this, it will fly towards the trap. As it gets near the fan, it gets sucked in. And eventually it will be inside of this trap. Typically, we will set this in the afternoon, let it run all night long, and we will go tomorrow and we will pick it up. So for the techs out there, if you wanted to set this trap up, when you go the next morning to the field, you would just take it apart in reverse. So you would grab the sock, take it off the fan, and just kind of hold it tight so the mosquitoes do not escape. And then just tie a knot. And then you would bring it back to the lab, and then we will do the processing here. This trap we use in the rural and urban areas. So it is mainly for the Culex mosquito. So Culex tarsalis, Culex quinque, those are our main vectors that carry the disease. So this is one of our most important traps that we use throughout the valley. Another trap that we use, and again, we try to target the Culex mosquitoes, it's called a gravid trap. While this trap is used for mosquitoes that are seeking a blood meal, they are attracted to the dry ice, they need to bite the host. Several days later, they will be ready to lay their eggs. They're now searching for water. So that is why we use this trap. In this tray, we will fill it halfway with water and it's called gravid bait, which is a mixture of yeast and rabbit pellets. We grind it up and we mix it into a big bucket. We'll let it ferment for about a week so it gets nice and smelly. We'll pour the bait into this pan. This is our actual trap. We use this sort of cage. It almost looks like a Tupperware with a screen on it. We will actually place it onto this. And what it does, it rests in a hole in the bottom of this trap. When the mosquito flies looking for water, a place to lay its eggs, as it lands in the water, it will get sucked up because this also uses a fan and motor. So we have a battery, same as this trap. It'll cause the fan to spin, and it's a pretty strong fan, so it will suck the mosquito up into this trap. And then we just close it up. And it's the same process. We would set this in the afternoon, let it run all night long, and go back the next day to collect it. So these two traps are mainly for the Culex mosquitoes. Now I want to talk about the Aedes mosquito. The main trap that we use for 80s, this is called a BG trap. So again, it has similar components. We use dry ice also, but besides that, we have a BG lure. This has different components in it, but one of the components is called lactic acid, which mimics, let's say, human sweat. That would be probably the best way. Some people say it kind of smells like dirty laundry or a dirty sock. So between that lure and the dry ice, this is a very effective trap for catching mosquitoes. Besides the 80s mosquito, it will also catch culex, just so you know. It is a fairly large trap and it is collapsible, but most of the components inside are a fan and just the wiring. But the main part that we use, we call this a BG net. It's just a small net that attaches to this cone. We tighten it up and we place it here on the top of the trap. One of the differences with this trap, it requires 2 batteries to operate. So what you have to do is attach both batteries. By the way, with all of these traps, there's wiring. You have a red and black wire. Red will always go to red, black will go to black. So you have a positive and negative charge. And then to make the trap work right, you also need a jumper cable. Same thing, red and black. You just attach the other 2 posts. And this will cause the fan to spin. And it's the same process. As the mosquitoes sense the CO2 and the lure, they will get sucked into the fan and into the bag. And when you go the next day to collect it, again, you take it apart in reverse. So you can remove this. Try to quickly remove the bag and close it before the mosquitoes escape. So this is our BG trap. Another trap that we use is called an AGO trap. Now, the difference with this trap, it will stay in the field for 1 week. Now, we use a slightly different attractant. This is water and hay. And it's the same thing. We will mix it up in a big container, let it ferment for about a week. The big difference with this trap, it uses sticky paper. So as the mosquitoes are attracted to the water and hay mix, as they want to fly in here, they have to go through this net. But as they fly around, it's lined with a glue board. And once they hit the glue, they get stuck. So the good thing about this trap, you can see how many mosquitoes are in an area. And because we collect it every week, you have to remove the whole glue board and then replace it with a different glue board. Dump out the water mixture, put fresh bait, and then it'll stay out for another week. The drawback of this trap is you cannot pull the mosquitoes off of the glue. So basically, we'll just have to count how many mosquitoes we have in the trap. And then one of our last surveillance tools is called an ovicub. Now, this is a very simple trap. It's not really meant to trap mosquitoes, but we will put the same mixture, it's water and hay. We will pour it into this cup, and it is lined with just a piece of paper. This is kind of like it can also be used as a seed paper. Sometimes people will plant seeds and let plants grow off of it. But for our purpose, we'll put it inside the cup, just secure it with a little clip. We put it in its holder, and we will pour the water and hay mix in here. And again, we will let it sit in the field for 1 week. As the mosquitoes are looking for a place to lay their eggs, they will find this, and when they land in here, the eggs will get stuck to the paper. So when we go back the following week, we remove the paper, and we'll replace it with fresh paper, fresh bait, and the process will start all over again. So hopefully that explains a little bit of our different surveillance tools that we use here at the district. Thank you.